Hello everybody, welcome to Coco's Crochet. I'm Litza and today I'm asking the question, is 1985 considered vintage crochet? Well, I think that it does count as vintage crochet, but what am I referring to, guys? I actually found a little treasure, which I'm calling my little time capsule of my very first crochet as a young adult, and in here were all of my treasures which I'm going to share with you today. I've been wanting to do that for a while, but I just haven't had the opportunity, and I thought I just need to make the time. So thank you for joining me today. I hope that you enjoy what I have to show you. A lot of this actually surprised me and it brought back some fond memories, and I just really wanted to share it with you because it was actually very surprising for me. I actually have had this little bag travel with me over the last 40 years as I've moved about, but I've never really looked into it since that period of my life, which is about from 1985 to 86, possibly 87, where I actually learnt to crochet. Excuse me. So basically, back in 1985, those of you that may have been around then, and for those of you that haven't been, here's a little history lesson for you. Crochet was not as popular as it is today, by no means, and definitely not as popular as it was in the 60s and the 70s. It was considered old-fashioned, and basically when you spoke about crochet, people conjured up images of like little old ladies crocheting doilies, and they were really poked fun at, but that didn't deter me at all. On the other hand, I had a fascination with crochet and I always wanted to learn. So I thought, nobody was going to be able to teach me because my mum knitted, not a lot. So she did very basic knitting. She did more cross stitch. Her generation did the cross stitch, and she learned that as a young girl. Excuse me, but I never really got into that. And I do remember as a young child, maybe I was 9, 10, 11 years old, I had an aunt who actually crocheted. Well, we crocheted together, I imagine, a little bag. I have spoken about it before, and there was a flower embroidered on it, and it was a hot pink, and I absolutely loved that bag. I wish I had it now. But I still felt that I really wanted to learn to crochet. So the opportunity did arise. I had a friend in 1985 in her mid-20s, so someone in my generation, who was learning to crochet from her aunt. And I did ask her, am I able to please join in? And, of course they welcomed me in, and I was so grateful. And that was my very, very first crochet club, I guess. I didn't even think of it at the time because it was just a get together. And the three of us would sit, I imagine, once a week, maybe more often, and we would, crochet. Unfortunately, and I have written this down, unfortunately my memory of that journey isn't very clear, and that actually makes me very sad. But I've been able to piece together from the treasures found in this bag what probably most likely went on. So let me share that with you. Now, I'm going to tell you about the contents in the bag, and some were quite surprising, and then I will actually show you my crocheted pieces. Excuse me, I have a little frog in my throat. So basically there are 3 whips in there and 2 FOs. There were 2 crochet hooks. You won't believe the size of these when you see them. They were the steel hooks because I was, and spoiler alert, crocheting doilies. Here's a 1mm one. There it is there. I'm not sure if it shows the size on there. I don't know if that's upside down or not. But look at that, guys, 1mm. Who would have thought that I would ever use a hook like that? And this one seems to be a 3mm. I think it says it on there as well somewhere. Apologies if it's upside down, but that's a 3mm. So here are the 2 hooks that I actually found in my little bag. I also found a pair of scissors, which I don't even know if they're proper scissors for, cutting yarn. They don't sound very sharp, but these are the scissors that I found in there. And I also found 2 packets of these huge, what seem to be darning needles. So they're both exactly the same. And if you can see that price there, it's just hilarious. It's 75 cents, Australian cents. And there were 2 packets in there. It says here that they're tufting needles, but to me they look like darning needles. Now let me tell you, these will come in very handy for myself because I use a lot of blanket yarn, so I'll be able to sew my pieces together, especially the amigurumi, so these will not go to waste. So these were actually a very nice find as well. And then the other thing that I found in there were used cotton. I don't have any new, but I will show you the little label that came with them. So, and then the actual cotton. So here it is here. So it's number 20 mercerized cotton. I guess that's what it is. And I believe it was made in Brazil. And this Coats was a very popular brand. I even remember the name. And let me show you what it looks like, guys. So it comes in little spools like this. This is an empty one that I found in there. 20 grams each, and this is the cotton. Oh my goodness, this is actually like something I would use nowadays to actually sew a button on a piece of clothing. So let me just wind that up and pop it back on the FO that is attached to. There was no such thing as a stitch marker in there, so I've added a couple of my own. And then the other thing that I actually found in there for, I think for all of the patterns that I'll show you, the pieces, was actually a pattern. And I tried to read them to see, and the shocking thing for me is that I must have been able to read patterns before I knew I could read patterns of late. So it looks like they were written in US terminology. And I think that all of the patterns were the same because they're just photocopied pages for each doily that I was making. And then I just thought it was hilarious, so I thought that I would actually share this with you as well. Back in my teenage years and my 20s, eyeliner was very important, and I found this little tiny one in there as well. So obviously I couldn't travel without my eyeliner, and I was just learning to cook proper meals because I used to love just to bake cakes, and I found these cards in there. Now these used to come for free at the local supermarkets, so I wonder if any of you have any of these in your collection. I'm sure I have some more floating around somewhere else, but they just happened to be in that bag. So obviously it was a proper little get together where we didn't just talk about crochet. So while we were there, we obviously talked about other things as well, including what we were going to cook for dinner. So I thought that was quite amusing. So I thought I'd share that with you. Now, let's get on to what you're all here for, to see the crochet. And I'm so very, very happy to actually share it with you. I'm going to start off with the finished objects and then I'll get on to the whips. So this first one is called Flower Motif Cheval Set. I could not tell you when this actually was written or from where we found it, but I can definitely say without a doubt that it's at least 40 years old. And here it is here, guys, what it's meant to look like up close. Now, as you can see, it's called the Flower Motif Cheval Set, which I'm guessing means like a doily set. But I only managed to make this one here. I didn't make all three pieces, so I'm going to call it finished. So let me just show you what it looks like. Now, I'm guessing that this was made with a bigger hook, maybe. It feels a bit chunkier than the others, or it might just be the stitches, but it actually does look quite pretty. And I'm so surprised and shocked at myself that I actually managed to do it, which is wonderful. Now the next one is called a cocktail tray mat. So let me just show you what it's meant to look like. Because back in the day, guys, I don't know if you all had the silver trays where you serve the drinks. We certainly did, and we also used to always have it like a showpiece where we'd put like the decanter in there for the scotch or the wine and the glasses around there. It was always very, very fancy, I thought. So obviously I was making a little cocktail tray mat. There it is there. Now I love that when I saw my patterns that I was actually ticking off the rows as I went, which is exactly something that I would do nowadays. There you go there. I don't want to show you the whole pattern. So, and I just thought that that was brilliant. So let me show you my cocktail tray mat. Oh my goodness. I actually love it. So let me show you this one next to it. I should have done that with the other one too. So here they are here side by side. Oh, you probably can't see the photocopy here all, but there it is, guys. Look how delicate and dainty that is. Who would have thought that I would be able to make something like this? Like I said, I know that it's my work and I'm so proud of it. And I don't know if I would ever attempt it nowadays because those hooks are very, very small, maybe with a larger hook. But I am so happy that I found them, and I have these patterns in case I ever want to replicate them. So they're my two FOs. And now let's get on to the whips. Now there are three. Two of them are the same, and one of them is different. So let me just show you here. Now I actually found a little drawing. So this one is called Doily with Star Center. And again, I found some notes showing me how to start off. So there we are there. And then how we continue to make the star. And here it is here. This is, oh, I wish I could finish this one. So this is what the border on it looks like. And how the completed, oh my gosh, I just think that that's beautiful. I don't know if I'll ever finish it, but if I ever do, I would absolutely be so proud of myself. But I've actually managed to get, I'll show you, so part way of the star. So let me show you here, guys. Now the yarn is attached to it, so I'm going to hold on to it. There it is there. Never mind the stitch marker. So there, can you see how it's growing out to be a star? It's absolutely gorgeous. And for some reason, I had it in a slightly different color cotton. And here it is here. I didn't pin this one because it's exactly the same, guys. But that's what it looks like, you know, when you're starting. And there it is up close. So you can see my stitches. Oh, oops, off camera. There we go. I lost the ball. That's why. So there we are there. Obviously, these need blocking. But like I said, I keep looking at them and I keep saying how surprised I am at myself. So there's two of those on the go. I don't know why I had two on the go. Maybe I was making one as a gift. Unfortunately, my memory doesn't serve me that well. Now, the next one here, I absolutely love this. Now, some of you may have heard me say sometimes that I'd love butterflies. My iPad is covered in butterflies. I have bags with butterflies on them. Just love butterflies, which I guess a lot of us do. And this one is actually called the Butterfly Doily. And here it is here, guys. Can you see all the little butterflies surrounding it? So there it is in the center. And how it comes out. And I think I actually have a photo of the butterfly up close. I just think that that is so beautiful. And again, I'm so happy that I see that I was marking off my rows as I went. Some habits never die, right? So I'll show you the center of it because this one is quite large. And then I'll show you one of the butterflies that I've crocheted. Now I'm going to have to hold this one back. I haven't pulled it apart too much, but just so you get the idea of it. And let me bring it up close for you so you can see what the center looks like. Now, let me pop it down. And I actually have one of the butterflies that I need to put together, but it is complete. I hope you can see that okay. There we go, even closer. And I have managed to find that I had made another 3 sets of wings here. Now I have to say that my tension wasn't perfect because some of them are varying sizes, but only just slight, which, you know what, that's okay. And here is the start of another wing here. Oh my goodness, look at that, guys. They are tiny. So they are all of my doilies that I found in that little, let's call it a time capsule. And as I was putting them, like stretching them out and looking at them, I thought how wonderful would it be to put one of those on one of these rings. Now let me just, so I have all these rings here waiting to, you know, have doilies put in them. And I thought, oh wow, imagine like maybe the star one would fit in very, very nicely, or even the one that's for the cocktail tray. So maybe you'll see that in the future. I am thinking that, you know, like now that I'm looking at them, because it is an FO, how nice would this look in one of those, very delicate and dainty, in one of those rings. I imagine it would fit in the biggest one, and if not, I could probably find one that's the right size. So maybe that's something that I'll be able to do with them. Like I said, you know, they are so very delicate and so very dainty, and yet so strong, because this is very strong cotton. You know, for the purpose that it was used for, and after you do all the stitches, it is quite strong. When I was feeling it, I could tell that after it's starched and, you know, sewn together, it would actually be gorgeous. But I don't know if that will happen, but it is something that I was thinking that I might be able to do. So maybe watch this space. Maybe that little cocktail tray mat will actually go onto a ring, so I can actually have it hanging on the wall and not just have it sitting in this bag, which it has been doing for almost 40 years. I still can't believe I'm saying that. So I hope that you enjoyed this little episode of Vintage Crochet. It definitely is vintage in my mind, and I'm so very happy that I could bring this to you, because for me, the thought of putting that crochet hook in my hand now, this little tiny one here, and picking up that thread, which basically, as I said, I would use that to sew buttons on, you know, something. So that is a part of my little crochet journey, my little history. I wish that I had remembered more about it, but at least I could piece it together for myself and for you. So I wonder if you guys have any hidden treasures, you know, somewhere in your home that you've forgotten about. And if you do find them, I would love to see them. Share them with us. It would be just so wonderful. So until I see you all very, very soon, take care, everyone. Bye-bye for now.